Recently, there was a big event in court that involved a famous music star named Diddy. You might know him because he's been in the music industry for a long time, and he's known for being very confident and stylish. When Diddy walked into the courtroom, the atmosphere changed completely. Everyone was paying close attention because they knew something important was going to happen. Since Diddy is so well known, the room was full of tension, like everyone was waiting to see how he would act and what would happen next. Instead of being nervous or worried like most people would be in court, Diddy walked in with a lot of confidence. He didn't look like someone who was worried about his future at all. In fact, he looked almost too confident, as if he believed nothing bad could happen to him. But this attitude didn't sit well with the judge, who was a serious, no-nonsense person. The judge immediately noticed that Diddy wasn't taking the situation seriously, and this made him very upset. Diddy was facing some very serious legal trouble, things that could send him to prison for a long time. But he acted as if it wasn't a big deal at all. The judge loses patience. As the court session began, Diddy didn't change his behavior. He leaned back in his chair and acted very relaxed, almost as if he was just at home watching TV. A few times, he even smiled, which made the situation even worse because it showed he wasn't respecting the court or the seriousness of the charges against him. The judge, who had been patient up to that point, finally had enough. The judge slammed his gavel down hard, making a loud noise that caught everyone's attention. The room became very quiet as everyone waited to see what the judge would do next. The judge looked right at Diddy and began to speak very firmly. He told Diddy that this was not a game or a fun event like an award show or a music video. The judge reminded him that this was real life, and the charges against him were very serious. If Diddy didn't start acting like this was important, things could go very badly for him. The judge explained that the court wasn't just about Diddy anymore. It was about the people who had been affected by his actions. Diddy needed to understand that his actions had consequences, and the judge wanted him to realize that he could be in big trouble if he didn't take things seriously. Diddy's arrogance continues. At first, Diddy seemed surprised by the judge's strong words. It looked like he wasn't expecting anyone to speak to him like that, especially in such a direct and serious way. But just as quickly as he seemed surprised, Diddy went back to his old behavior. He shrugged it off, acting like the judge's speech didn't matter to him at all. He still had that confident look on his face, as if he believed he was untouchable. This attitude only made things worse because it showed that Diddy didn't think the rules applied to him. The judge, who was now very angry, started listing all the reasons why Diddy's behavior was wrong. The courtroom is a place where people are expected to show respect, and Diddy's arrogant attitude was insulting to everyone in the room. The judge explained that Diddy's charges were not small. They were serious accusations that could lead to years in prison. Even though most people would be scared or worried, Diddy acted like it wasn't a big deal, and this frustrated the judge even more. The judge's final words. After giving Diddy a stern talking to, the judge made it clear that Diddy needed to start respecting the courtroom and the legal process. Everyone in the room seemed to feel relieved that the judge had finally spoken up. It was as if they had all been waiting for someone to tell Diddy that he couldn't just act like nothing was wrong. But even after the judge's speech, Diddy still didn't seem to care. He sat there quietly, not showing any real emotion or concern about the situation he was in. Most people would have been scared if they were in Diddy's position. After all, he was facing serious charges that could change his life forever. But Diddy continued to act as if he was above the law. It was hard for everyone to understand how someone could act so carelessly when so much was at stake. The judge's words should have been a wake-up call for Diddy, but it seemed like he wasn't paying attention to the warning. Denied bail. After this heated exchange between Diddy and the judge, you might think Diddy would finally start to take things seriously. But that's not what happened. Instead of worrying about the charges against him, Diddy and his legal team immediately started working on a plan to get him out of jail while he waited for his trial. In legal terms, this is called asking for bail. Diddy didn't want to sit in jail while the trial continued, so he and his team were doing everything they could to get him released. Diddy hired two new, very famous lawyers to help him with his case. These lawyers were known for defending big celebrities, and they had a lot of experience in difficult cases like Diddy's. His legal team promised the court that Diddy would agree to very strict conditions if he was released on bail. For example, they said Diddy would stay at home under house arrest, wear an ankle monitor, and wouldn't have any visitors outside of his family. They even offered to pay $50 million as bail to show the court that Diddy was serious about following the rules. The court's decision. Even with all of these promises, the judge still wasn't convinced. The prosecution, which is the side trying to prove that Diddy did something wrong, argued that Diddy was a danger to others. They said he had already tried to contact witnesses from jail, offering them money to change their stories or stay quiet. This showed that Diddy wasn't just trying to defend himself in court. He was trying to use his fame and money to escape the consequences of his actions. After thinking about both sides of the argument, the judge decided that Diddy couldn't be trusted to follow the rules if he was let out on bail. So once again, the judge denied Diddy's request for bail. This was a big blow for Diddy because he wasn't used to hearing no. He was someone who usually got whatever he wanted. But in this case, the court wasn't letting him go free. Even though his legal team quickly filed another appeal, it was clear that Diddy was in deeper trouble than he realized. Public opinion shifts. At first, many people thought that Diddy would quickly get out of jail and that the charges against him wouldn't stick. After all, he was a huge star with a lot of power and connections. But as more details about the case came out, people started to change their minds. Diddy's behavior in court, especially his arrogant attitude, made it hard for people to feel sorry for him. He acted like he was above the law, and this turned a lot of people against him. The media followed every part of the trial closely. Each time Diddy went to court, reporters were there to take pictures and write stories. Diddy's actions in court were all over the news, and every time he showed disrespect, it made things worse. Even his biggest fans started to question whether Diddy was innocent. People began asking, if he's innocent, why is he acting like this? Why isn't he taking the trial seriously? New evidence and more trouble. As the case continued, more information came out that made Diddy look even worse. Former friends and business partners started to speak up, sharing stories about Diddy's past behavior. They said that Diddy had always been willing to break the rules to get what he wanted, even if it hurt other people. These stories added to the growing pile of evidence against Diddy, making it even harder for him to defend himself. Diddy's legal team tried to fight back. They argued that the people speaking out against Diddy were only doing it because they had something to gain. They suggested that these witnesses had their own reasons for coming forward, and that the accusations were part of a plan to bring Diddy down. But no matter how hard Diddy's lawyers tried, the damage was already done. Diddy's once strong reputation was falling apart. By the time Diddy was denied bail for the third time, it was clear that his legal battle wasn't just about staying out of jail. It was about saving his career and reputation. The court wasn't going easy on him, and each new piece of evidence made things look worse for Diddy. The judge's decision to deny bail showed that no matter how rich or famous someone is, they are not above the law. For Diddy, this was a tough reality to face. He was used to being in control, but now he was in a situation where he couldn't just rely on his fame and fortune to fix things. As he waited for his trial, the future was uncertain. Would Diddy finally take the situation seriously, or would he continue acting like none of it mattered? Only time would tell.